Alright, let's just call it exactly what it is. It's January 20th, 2026, and if you had Harry and Meghan crawling back to the UK on your bingo card this year, congratulations, go ahead and collect your prize. Because this is officially happening in real time, let's rewind for a second back in 2020, when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle pulled off what basically felt like a royal jailbreak. They sold it as the ultimate escape story, privacy, peace, freedom, protecting their mental health, and honestly, a lot of people were rooting for them. It felt cinematic. The rebel prince rescues the Hollywood Duchess from the cold grey palace walls, and they ride off into the California sunshine, palm trees, Netflix money, Oprah, on speed dial, podcasts, red carpets, the whole fantasy package. Freedom looked incredible, but fast forward to early 2026, and that freedom is starting to look less like independence and more like a PR internship that went very, very wrong. Here's the part nobody in their camp likes to say out loud. The palace didn't exile them, they exiled themselves. And now, like a bad Netflix sequel, absolutely no one asked for, they're trying to crawl back. The same couple who spent years throwing shade across the Atlantic, interviews, book documentaries, you name it, are suddenly very interested in the British spotlight again. And no, this isn't about missing Rainey, London, or tea with the king. This is about relevance, because their Hollywood dream didn't just fade, it slowly slid into the maybe later pile. The Spotify deal gone, Netflix hype lukewarm at best. American audiences who were obsessed for 5 minutes already swiped left on the royal drama. So what do you do when America is over you? Simple, you go back to the one place guaranteed to make headlines, the UK. But let's be clear, this is not a homecoming, this is damage control in designer clothes. Because for all the talk about breaking free, 2026 is teaching them a brutal truth: you can leave the crown behind, but you can't leave the need for attention. And that's exactly where the real story begins. When Harry and Meghan packed up those royal bags, they weren't just dragging luggage out of the palace. They were dragging centuries of privilege, expectations, and drama with them. When that announcement hit back then, the translation was simple: we're done playing royal Monopoly, we want our own board. At first, it looked revolutionary. The press called it Megxit. To them, it was liberation. No more duties, no more palace rules, no more stiff upper lip California sunshine over Buckingham clouds. Sounds poetic, except real life doesn't come with a Netflix filter and a full-time lighting crew. Because once the novelty of seeing them at Lakers games and charity galas wore off, reality showed up. And it wasn't bringing flowers, it was bringing invoices, security mansions, private jets, the lifestyle they thought they deserved. None of that is cheap. And suddenly the same media they claimed to be escaping became their actual lifeline. They didn't just want attention, they needed it. Every headline became oxygen. Every photo op became survival. Their entire brand was built on rebellion. Love versus the crown. Outsiders versus the institution. But behind the scenes, the illusion was cracking. Because here's the uncomfortable truth: walking away from an empire doesn't mean you keep the power. Freedom was supposed to set them free. Instead, it set them drifting in a sea of wait. Who are they again? When they landed in California, they crossed into a fantasy. This is the land where fame is currency and reinvention is a sport. Hollywood rolled out the red carpet for about 5 minutes. Then Hollywood did what Hollywood always does. It rolled that carpet right back up. At first, the power moves were flawless. Netflix deal check, Spotify partnership check, magazine covers making them look like media moguls, check, Buckingham Palace to Beverly Hills. But here's the twist: in Hollywood, everyone is a star until the data says you're not. And when the spotlight dimmed, they learned a hard lesson. Fame without the crown is just noise. The Netflix series overhyped. The Spotify podcast cancelled faster than a bad sitcom. Even that Oprah interview that once shook the world, aging like milk in the California heat. Because Hollywood loves a story, but it hates a repeat. And Harry and Meghan only had one story the palace was mean to us. Tell that 10 times, and people stopped clicking. Behind the smiles and sun-kissed PR shots, the empire they built didn't collapse from scandal. It collapsed from silence they left to control the narrative. But by 2026, the narrative is controlling them. America fell for them fast. We love a rebel. But fascination has an expiration date. What started as admiration slowly turned into exhaustion. The interviews sounded rehearsed, The drama felt recycled late-night hosts who once praised them started turning them into punchlines. And nobody even blinked. Approval ratings slid, headlines called, even loyal fans started muting the noise. Meghan's lifestyle ventures kept stalling. Harry's healing journey storyline started sounding more like a lost script than a mission that's the cruel paradox of modern fame. The attention that builds you is the same attention that eventually buries you. So when the American spotlight dimmed, they had two choices: fade quietly into private life, the thing they claimed they wanted, or chase the only place guaranteed to keep them relevant. And we all know which one they chose. This brings us to the present: Harry's legal fight for police protection in the UK. On the surface it looks like a safety issue, but peel back the paperwork and this isn't about bodyguards, this is about status. You don't sue the British government because you're scared. You sue because you want to prove you still matter. You want government-funded protection not for safety, but for symbolism. Because private security says celebrity, state security says royal. The man who walked away from the institution is now begging for the benefits. This isn't Prince Harry versus the UK. This is Prince Harry versus irrelevance. And Meghan knows exactly how this looks. Winning means they're still official. Losing means they're just celebrities. And in 2026, being just celebrities isn't enough. When things get toxic, they always play one card: Invictus. And to be fair, Invictus is incredible. It's Harry's best work. But notice the timing. Right when lawsuits get messy, right when family feuds flare up, suddenly the spotlight shifts to service. Brilliant strategy. It softens headlines. It rebuilds sympathy. It reframes the image. For a moment, it's not drama. It's purpose, but let's not pretend it's accidental. Invictus gives Harry something Hollywood never could: a platform that looks noble. Leadership instead of gossip. And Meghan, perfect supporting role. Polished, poised, strategically silent. But while Invictus buys credibility, it can't buy back control of the family dynamic. And behind all of this, another motive is growing. Titles for people who claim they didn't care about the monarchy. They sure love the branding. Duke, Duchess, those two words open doors faster than any Netflix contract ever could. In California, they're conversation starters. In Britain, they're currency. The irony is brutal. The institution they said they outgrew is the only thing keeping their brand alive. Without the crown, they're just another celebrity couple. With the crown, every appearance becomes royal. They're no longer selling rebellion, they're selling proximity to power. And the second those titles lose their shine, the Sussex empire goes dark. Meanwhile, the palace silent. And that silence is doing more damage than any statement ever could. No mentions, no invitations. No warmth, not hostility. Humiliation by omission. While the Sussexes chase headlines, the monarchy plays the long game: duty versus drama, composure versus chaos. They don't clap back, they wait. Because in royal politics, silence isn't weakness, it's checkmate in slow motion. But just when you think the story can't get messier, it does. Enter Samantha Markle. And this time, it's not just family gossip. The legal filings surfacing in 2026 are explosive claims about Dina. Heritage family secrets that make palace scandals look polite. There's a story breaking right now that could flip Meghan's entire origin narrative upside down. And unlike tabloids, these are court documents, messy, personal, and very hard to silence. If even half of this holds up, the Sussex story changes forever. So, where does that leave us? Strip away the PR, the designer labels, and the palace whispers, and what's left isn't a revolution. It's a reality check. This return to the UK isn't about healing, it's about survival. They're not rewriting the story, they're trying to rescue it. They traded a cage of gold for a cage of glass, and now everyone is watching the cracks form. This is Star Spotlight. Before you go, let me know in the comments, do you think the UK will ever actually take them back? Or has the Sussex brand officially passed its expiration date? Subscribe, stay curious. And remember, in the world of fame, no secret stays buried for long. Catch you in the next one.